People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe this Tuesday morning. Now, there isn't much to speak about in relation to Arsenal, but what there is, we might as well go ahead and speak about such. First and foremost, before I actually begin, people, I'd like to say goodbye and good luck temporarily to Mavorpanos, who's become the latest Arsenal player or youngish sort of player that needs experience to head out on loan and to be plying his trade away from the club. We already saw the rumours, but he's officially joined Nuremberg for the remainder of this campaign. Second division in Germany. It might not have been the loan spell everybody was hoping for and whatnot. I do personally think Mavorpanos' Arsenal career is in the balance, in that there's still he's still highly rated and there's still faith in him and there's still ability. But the longer he's unable to specifically remain fit and make some serious headwinds in his career, the longer the concerns kind of remain. And as much as I think he's young and he needs experience because he has had teething issues, you have to wonder why, when fit, Unai Emery didn't include him in the Europa League. Or he's played under a couple managers of Arsenal now. He's been on the bench with Arteta, but nobody's given him the nod. When Arteta came in, nobody deserved the centre-half position, really. So it should have been open, but Mavorpanos never got no minutes. And you look at Crystal Palace last season, you look at Watford last season, potentially he's played well against United, and I'm sure he got sent off against Leicester. He's had some teething issues. He needs experience. Like Emil Smith-Rowe, he needs to stay fit, but he also needs experience. So at least, fair enough, it's in the second division, but it's still significantly better than under-23s football, in which he's been subjective to. This was always on the cards. The main thing appeared to be, when he returned from injury, let's just stay fit, let's remain fit and potentially go out on loan to accelerate your development. So best of luck. Personally, I'm not too sure if it will be sanctioned, but Zach Medley, young 20-year-old centre-half, for me, he should be going out on loan. 19, 20 years of age, 18 to 20, should be going out on loan and playing experienced football against seasoned professional strikers, really and truly, people. A striker I've made a video before, and I like the look of him in the same way I like the look of Calvin Stengs of the same club, AZ Alkmaar. Baidu, the 19-year-old, I mean, him and Daniel Marlon, I know Marlon's injured, but two of the youngest, hottest strikers on form, at least prior to Marlon's injury in Holland. He's made 39 appearances, got 20 goals and 11 assists, has a goal contribution of 93 minutes per goal, and he's only 19. Now, the best place for him to stay is to develop, and obviously there's links with Germany, he's been linked with us. But as we're looking for a striker long term, I know Martinelli seems to be that, but we need to look at other alternatives. He's someone I would have a look at again if we haven't already. Apparently, Atletico Madrid's management... Atletico Madrid will offer Thomas Lemar in exchange for Lacazette. Atletico will submit this offer once signing Cavani is no longer an option this month. Atletico Madrid's management team have discussed this internally and are ready to press ahead once they have confirmation that Cavani will not be sold by PSG. Now, Cavani is a free agent. There's free agent come the summer, allowed to negotiate with overseas clubs. There's very much talk of going to Atletico Madrid, and what a transfer that would be. I mean, it's Cavani on a free transfer. That's up there. I think the best free transfer I've seen recently has been, off the top of my head, it's got to be Lewandowski, because yeah, Dortmund got ripped, really. Let him go for free, nothing they could do, and he's gone on to be an even better player. So there's that, but this has got to be up there. Obviously, Atletico need to score goals. There's question marks over the league campaign, over how Simeone's tactics, over everything. But one thing they know is strikers. They're lacking goals. They've had Costa, they've had Forlan, they've had Aguero, they've had Torres. There's been many great number 9s that have led the line for that team, and Cavani's got to be right up there. I mean, to get him on a free transfer, it'd be decent for him. They'd probably have to give him an expensive outlay, but he'd be a good opportunity for them. So you hear talk of getting him in the summer. They need results now. Obviously, Atletico, fees are fees. He looks like he's leaving for free. Can they get a fee? It looks like they're conceding that they're using Cavani. Yes, they're being greedy. Got Mbappe, Neymar, Icardi and Cavani, but they want to keep him. They're still in the champs. They've still got things to worry about. Now, Lacazette at one point looked to be joining Atletico Madrid when Arsenal were interested in him. PSG allegedly as well. But he was close to going to Atletico. I'm sure Griezmann's only had good things to say about him. Technically Champions League, forgive me if I'm wrong. Their season's been a bit woeful, but it could be right up his street. you look at Lacazette defensively, it's his defensive statistics, pressing and recovering from up front, he's up there. So that could all be up Simeone's streets and he'll be able to buy into that football. Obviously, Griezmann might speak highly of Atletico, but if he speaks to his countryman Thomas Lemar, he might say something else. It's not exactly attractive football. Is it the best environment you want to go to? It's better than Arsenal, but at 29 years of age, Lacazette needs to think about his next move very carefully. And is that something he wants to do? If he experiences something similar to Thomas Lemar, it will be a flop. And one thing about Simeone, he's not like Wenger or previous managers where they persist with a flop. Simeone is the minute you're flopping, you're out of there. I'm not saying Lacazette's going to be a flop because they tried to get him before. It could be a way out for him, people, really and truly. Thomas Lemar, obviously, allegedly we bidded 90 million on deadline day. We've watched him for the longest. It hasn't happened for him at Atletico. But they wanted Lacazette, we wanted Thomas Lemar previously. You can see how this story, two players that are not exactly informed, you see how this story writes itself. Personally, I cannot see it happening. Arteta's using Lacazette. Lacazette will not leave at least until the summer if the contract stuff persists. So I can't really see it. He's used by Arteta. Obviously, Aubameyang's out for 3 games. So if this offer was to come tomorrow, I'm sure Arsenal would entertain it. But how much sense would it make, people, really and truly? Moving away from that, apparently Mikel Arteta has made Manchester City defender John Stones his top target, even if it's on loan. Now, this is all coming out of The Sun. It's important to remember that John Stone is represented by the same agency as Arteta. Allegedly, he'd be keen to discuss a move, even if it's on loan. Personally, I don't buy that. I know the league is done in terms of, it's not done because Liverpool are not holding the title yet, but it looks impossible that City can concede the gap. But either way, he's in a team that's expected to be first, second, third is unacceptable. So you're joining that team. You're involved in that. There's still the Champions League to play for. There's still a lot of things to play for. You've heard Pep kind of dig him out and say he needs to kind of kick on a bit and say it's not Stones' fault, but Stones is a big reason as to why he hasn't developed. Also, you've got to remember the human aspect. Stones is from up north, I guess, round these sort of sides, so he must not be too far away from home. He's obviously got a lot of friends within the Manchester City side. He's still a young man, so maybe the appeal to London can come to him. I wouldn't personally want to go from a team like Manchester City, which they ain't going to win the league this year, potentially win it next year. He's won trophies. He's done a lot of big things. Why would you want to come to Arsenal? I know Arteta's here and he's seen firsthand what Arteta has done for Manchester City in ways that fans can't comprehend. You'd play football. Obviously, you'd be playing week in, week out. And if you're scared of missing out on a place in the Euros and you just want to develop, I get that. But why would you want to come and... I don't even know if he'd technically be allowed to play. In fact, he would be because it's Europa League. But why would you want to come and play Europa League football and be part of this team when you're part of City, even though City are not by their own standards? I don't buy it. Obviously, it would appeal to me. I'll take John Stones, even if it's on loan. Of course, I like John Stones. He ticks the boxes. A bit naive in many defensive moments, but he'd be a decent defender for us. I do think he can develop a lot. Arteta might get that out of him. Obviously, specifically, we need a centre-half because we're down to our last few options. And obviously, I mentioned it last because it's just the icing on top of the cake in modern-day defenders, although it seems to be the primary requirement is the ball playing. Stones can ball play. He's not afraid to do that. Also, there's the option of, similar to David Luiz, who's only been used in midfield once under Emre, I believe, you could play Stones in midfield. People need to remember at Barnsley he was playing in central midfield as well as right back. In fact, right back phase has probably passed him and Maitland-Niles is knocking that down, but there's a lot of football to be played. Bellerin's injuries keep persisting, and obviously if Maitland-Niles something happens to him, there's the option of that. I would like Stones permanently. He's young, he's English. Him and Saliba, we could move forward to that. But how much did they buy him from Everton? And you'd need to give him some handsome wages. And if for me, John Stones, I love Arsenal Football Club, but I cannot see the appeal of ditching Manchester City for Arsenal unless Pep said you're not featuring or there's really concerns about game time in that regards, people. There's not much more for me to say in relation to the transfer stuff. That's all you've seen. Hopefully we can bring a centre-half in the central midfield. In relation to the Thomas Lemar Lacazette one, I'd be more interested to listen if they wanted to swap Thomas Partey, who allegedly was close to joining us and was a #1 target for Emre in the summer, people. But I've got nothing more to add. On that note, people, deluded. I'm out.